Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Seasons of Music. Today we have a very special episode where we have on set Bernadette Scott and Lynn Geyer, a very good friend of the choir for many years. So she's here to chat with us, to just let us know how she was introduced to the group and her perspective of what the Love Movement is to her. Hi Lynn.
Hi there, Christopher.
How are you?
I'm good.
Hi Bernadette.
Hi Chris, so great to have Lynn with us. She's very much like me.
Yeah.
Two peas in a pod.
So Lynn, tell me, how did you come about to meeting the Love Movement? What is the story behind it?
We were all up in Canada at Toronto at World Youth Day. And I guess that was 2002. It was July of 2002. And a friend of mine, a music friend of mine, who was part of the Catholic Association of Music, which I was also part of, met Bernadette and the group, and Debbie Arundel, right, and went crazy in love with them, and called me and said, "You have to come over and meet these people. They're just unbelievable. Bernadette is amazing. Their choir is stupendous. You have to come. You have to come." So from where I was staying, I hitched a ride somehow and got over to the place where they were staying and got to meet Bernadette. And that was the beginning of it.
How was it? Is it that you were part of an organization that was part of a music ministry? Yes. How did you, why would he say, okay, come and meet Bernadette? Yes. Is it just, this is just a friend, or how did it?
I was, at the time, I might have been president of the Catholic Association of Music. Okay. And that's based in, it was based in Arkansas. It is no more, unfortunately. John Michael Talbot had started that ministry. And we grew to quite a few hundred members at its biggest. And Love Movement was one of our members eventually. Bernadette and Debbie did come to Arkansas to one of our annual meetings. But it was an organization that supported independent Catholic artists, Catholic music people. Yeah. And we held our annual conference. We offered training, suggestions, ideas, help to Catholic music ministries. John Michael Talbot was the driving force behind it. He was just great.
So what drew you to the Love Movement, a small choir from a little island in the Caribbean? What did it make it special? Was it the group? Was it Bernadette's personality? Because she has a very big personality.
Oh, don't I know?
And is always striving to do even better, to push the button a little more.
Well, I'll tell you, the interesting thing was that I did not see them perform in Canada. I was going completely off of Dennis Grady's tremendous observation and recommendation, and he absolutely loved her. He organized a tour called Franciscan and Friends through Bernadette, with the help of Bernadette, for a group of us to come here and come to Trinidad and do ministry, do music ministry. The fellas went to the prisons, the ladies went to the schools, and we all went to the churches, and we just went to different places here in Trinidad. We all just did ministry. It was real ministry. It was wonderful. From then on, we really became even better friends, at that time. I was very inspired by the Love Movement, which I got to finally see perform here, but not really in any kind of show or anything. It was the rehearsals I was watching, and I was like, very impressed. The talent, the level of talent was just mind-blowing. Anyway, went home, and we just kind of kept in touch. I think I came back again to see another concert, one of your regular concerts. Right, yeah. And I met with Father Charles and Laurie Mangano, who were also great friends of Bernadette's. Right. And he let me know that they were coming. you were coming, you were all coming up, and that I should come out to the concert at his church.
Oh, okay.
So I said, well, that's a great idea. And I had been thinking about doing a Christmas concert because in New York City, they were not allowing us to say Merry Christmas anymore.
Right.
We were instructed to say Happy Holidays or nothing.
Yeah.
And that annoyed me.
Yeah.
So I decided I would create a concert that would have signage that would say Merry Christmas on it. And that's what I had, this wacky idea in my head. And we were coming, my husband and I were driving out to the church, and I said, you know, I think we really need to do a Christmas concert. And he said, well, yes, you want to do it just out of spite. And I said, no, I but I think I would like to do it. Anyway, we got to the church. They did their ministry work. Father Charles and Laurie were singing. I had never seen them either. And I was just blown away. I was so taken over by the beauty of the message, the way it was presented in song by the group, by you, Father Charles and Laurie as well. And I said to my husband, I said, this is what I have to do. I have to make a Christmas concert, and these people have to be in it. We have to do it.
So is this something
God says.
So that was your first
Yeah,
concert?
I hadn't even really seriously thought about it until I got there and it hit me in the head.
Yeah.
Because God was speaking. You know, God was speaking, not me and not the government saying you can't say Merry Christmas. It was God speaking to bring this to the people. Let
So
the people see
then
this.
and now, how have you seen the group? Because I know you've been to our recent concert. How has it been? Have you seen us grow differently? Have you seen the spirituality more in the type or the way our performances are, you know, in the professionalism of it?
No, it has always been the same to me. It has been God-centered, the work of God, and this one. But I'm always blessed, as is everyone in the presence. Because as colorful and as beautifully visual it all is, the message is coming about God and His love and His opportunity, if we accept Him, to make ourselves better. I feel that the costuming has always been fabulous. It's always been professional, even though it's all handmade by Bernadette and parents. It has a beautiful look to it. The entertainment quality of the concerts is as professional as it could possibly be when you're really just working among yourselves to get it that way. You don't have any fancy art directors or music directors or anybody coming in there directing, so to speak, except Helmer. Yeah. You know, it's amazing. It is amazing to me what gets put forth in regard to the Lord amidst all the color and the dazzle and the fun. The message is clearest. The message of God is clearest, which is, you know what, in music ministry we all want to do, we aspire to.
Worship you.
Bernadette, so how does this relationship with Lynn and the Love Movement and yourself, how has it been, or was it like for you?
Well, before we go into that, Lynn did not mention, but we were blessed to be being invited to Lincoln Center, Lynn's Christmas concert, and that's a big thing to be able to perform there. You know, and that is about 10 years now or so that when we went up, the senior group went up there. And in the early days when we went, our first tour was about 22 years ago when we met Father Charles and Laurie, and we went up to the Bronx, we went up to Harlem, we sang in St. Patrick's Cathedral. That was all Father Charles and Laurie's involvement. So we had been there. God wanted to take us a step further. And Lynn came in through World Youth Day. You never know what he has up his sleeve for us, as I say. And now she met us. She became family. Well, we have, as we keep saying, we're like a twin. I keep telling just now, we're like Siamese twins. We just think alike. We have the crazy kind of personality at times. And we're just friends. We don't see each other now and then. I send her a message, or she sends me a message, but she knows what's going on. Right. You know, but being invited to Lincoln Center was really a big thing for us, for Love Movement, because we don't know anybody that would have been able to put us there. And then we sang in concerts there also, at churches and stuff up there. So we thank Lynn for that. You know, and when we were having this concert, I told Debbie, I said, she came down to the one in 2018, Right Colors of His Love. Right. And thoroughly enjoyed it. And I said, Debbie, right, Lynn, I'm sure she's going to want to come, because I kept saying I have to write her, but I sent an email and then I send it and it rubs off and it doesn't go, and she doesn't get it. And I said, Debbie, you get in touch with Lynn.
We are both technologically challenged.
Yes, yeah. So she told me the next day, Lynn said she's coming. I said, fantastic news, because she also has a lot of good connections up there, people she knows in the music business and producing. She has a lot of experience with that. So she's a good source of information for us and encouragement in what we are doing here in our little way. You know, so when she comes, it's kind of like a vitamin, I'll say it's a vitamin J injection, maybe Jesus injection, a vitamin L injection to the group. So she's here, and, you know, she may be coming back in November for a project that they're thinking about, you know, but so.
We are working on a project. We are working. Yeah, we are working on getting started working on a documentary about Bernadette and how she started this group and carried this group through the 50 years. You know, incorporating her life story into the work that she does with the group and the group itself. So. We've got a producer from Oak Hill Productions in the States, Susie Gorell, and Gary Ferguson is doing filming. Oh, nice. And Susie and I will probably be down in the middle of November to do some footage and some work with, see if we can put something together that really tells the story of how this amazing group continues for 50 years to pour out these blessings. Yeah. It's not about the entertainment or the show, it's about the blessings. It's just so amazing. And that was what I got off the subject, of course, because that's what I do. But to continue about that night that we saw them at Father Charles and Laurie's, when I was suddenly got this message to do this Christmas concert. It took 5 years before we were able to get you to come. Yeah. It was God's time. Yes, but I was doing them. Father Charles and Laurie were graciously involved. Right. They were in each one. They were in all 5 of them. Right. And the 4 we did leading up to the time when we were finally able to get, we couldn't bring all 200 of you. But we did, what do we have, 42, I think, 40, 42? You were there, Christopher. And a lot of the old timers, I think, and no little ones.
No. A couple about 4 members from the youth outreach at that time.
It was the people that were there, I still hear things about it, how blessed they were and how fabulous and you know, friends of mine that knew I was coming down were jealous because they wanted to come, but they couldn't. You know, they couldn't do it. But, you know, it was really quite, it's about the blessings.
But you know, it's amazing that when God is doing his thing, how even one gets involved, because you remember how terrified we were, because it was a few days, a week before the concert, and we could not get our visas to leave Trinidad.
Yeah.
And Lynn had to almost stop selling tickets because we were having problems at the embassy to get our visas in time. And I kept telling them, I said, I'm standing on my faith every time we had a rehearsal. We heard yet? I said, we are going. I am telling you, we are going. And we'd be practicing there. And it was about 4 days before the concert, the embassy rang to say that the visas were approved. You know, and it was, I said, you know, through, as I keep saying, as I said at the show this week, the name Love So Amazing for this show was really because I have seen from a little girl in my life, I'm no better than anybody else. People like to put you on a pedestal, and I hate it because you're not, you're human and you do a lot of crap, right? But I've seen where God has really, really just, he allowed me to go to the end. I keep telling him, God, I am not Abraham and I am not Job. Don't wait till the knife is almost in his son's throat to put the lamb, you know, and people laugh at that, you know. So he carries you through, but he always removes the obstacles at the right time. And it has built my faith, because I have a whole other journey which people might hear about if we do this documentary. But it is so great, and I cannot do it alone. As I watched on that stage this week, and I look at those children, and there were those costumes being made, handmade. Our dressmakers, he gave us a prophecy in Isaiah about, in the feast of St. Francis. About 20 years ago, I will provide you with everything you need, my children. Do not be afraid. Because the members come and they kind of, we're not sure we're able to do this commitment, but provide us with dressmakers, of our director, our own engineer, people making accessories, every little thing that we needed to do. He comes there in his time and does it. And they stand on that stage and say, oh my God, without him.
It's so beautiful. It's beautiful visually to look at. You're in the front, so you get to see it, but you're not. No. You're in the choir. And I said to, I think to Gerard, that I thought each person in the choir should be excused.
Get an opportunity.
At one time, just if your part is, if you're a harmony part and you can escape, go sit in the audience and watch what the rest of us see. You wouldn't believe it. You can't get it when you watch it on video.
I don't think,
you have to experience it.
The experience is quite different, because, you know, the times I've seen it, you know, when I've on a break, you know, it's like, you know, that's what always drew me back.
Yeah.
In
is
it,
that
you know,
us?
like, okay, I need to break
is
down.
That
and
us?
Yes, is that?
Doing?
And for me, you know, it's always been like, you know, all the ups and downs that we go through as a group. When at the end of a production, you just say, wow, if this is what it's all about, you know, God is really amazing. And that's what keeps drawing me back, and I'm sure others back into the group. You know, no matter what goes on, but God has a plan for each one of us, and he brought us in. Just like he has a plan, he brought you into Bernadette and our lives. So I can see great things happening from now on.
It's really quite incredible. It's just quite incredible how much you give, and you really don't even know. It's everyone's doing double duty. You know, it's everybody in 2 and 3 jobs within the choir, within the group to allow the group to function. It's just so. You think it's so easy, you know, people come and sit in the audience, oh, you know, it's a show. Hey, people have no idea what it takes to put 170 people on one stage at the same time, singing in perfect harmonies. doing perfect dance moves. And there's not even so much the dancing, the movement is what's so intriguing, because that's very unusual. You don't see the kind of movement that the Love movement does in other groups and choirs and things. Now I see that we have some real dancers, the young ones that were really dancing, high kicks and everything.
And what's amazing is, too, again, is how they grew up, because those who are doing choreographers now, our choreographers, they started in Lights of Love. You know, they graduated to the youth, and then they're singing in the senior group and in the youth. And you just see, like, for me sometimes, though, people say, you say this is the last year. And in a way, I feel like, I don't want to say I've been robbed, or maybe I robbed myself of having more time with my family over the years. I have, I lost my husband 2 years ago, and I said, if I was not in so many rehearsals, I could have been at home more. And I just have my feelings about that. I get angry and I feel sad, because not looking for any kudos, this is literally laying down your life. This is no time for anything else. I do visit family here, I have no social life, but I feel what it's doing, God has used me, imperfect as I am, to see these children and youth. And when you read the testimonies in the program of what they enjoy in Love Movement, nearly everybody mentions that they've got closer to God and they've come to know Jesus. So that is, for me, the thing. But sometimes I just wish I had a little more time for me. But
that's one of the things this show is about, Seasons of Music, is we don't get enough time, but in terms of, to really explain all that goes on behind the scenes. And this, I think this show has allowed people to see what really goes on behind the scenes in preparation. Although I said it's not enough, but it's at least a taste. Yeah. And hopefully your documentary will give even more on really what goes on and the details, right? So thanks, Lynn and Bernadette, for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed being here with us, and hope you enjoyed being in Trinidad once again. It's a little hot, but
I love Trinidad. I love the people of Trinidad. I would tell you, I haven't met one person that I couldn't say that wasn't sweet to me and nice.
Okay, really. Thanks again, Lynn.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, there you have it, folks. Another episode of Seasons of Music. I'd like to thank all of you who've joined us once again, and Bernadette and Lynn. Just enjoy the rest of the day, and hope to see you at one of our shows, if not soon, but sometime in the future. We look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Stand humble and firm like a mighty rock in a blazing desert, a mighty rock. When the wind of change comes blowing, stand and hold your brother tight. When the world is grim and holding you down, you got to be alive. Shining bright, crossing lines into the light. Yeah, shining bright. Long time you like all you water. You're rocking and you're talking, but you can't get no better. Humble up the spirit, make a praise to the Father. Love one another is the only answer. To your questions, people. To your query, to your worry. In a blazing desert, a mighty rock. You gotta be a mighty rock. In a blazing desert, a mighty rock. People get together, be a mighty rock. In a blazing desert. You gotta be a mighty rock in a blazing desert, a mighty rock. Hey, you wanna tell ya, don't raise up your hand just to kill and to kill. You can't hate your brother and get much of prayer. Humble up the spirit, make a praise to the Father. From one another is the holy answer. Is the holy answer. Love one another is the holy answer. Love one another is the holy answer. Brother, brother, sister, brother, won't you stand and fight? Fight them all down. Stand and fight. We're gonna fight them all down, down, down. Stand and fight. The oppressor them got to fall. Watch them fall. Stand and fight. We're gonna fight them. We're gonna fight you up in a blazing desert fight. Fight them down, down, down. Stand and fight. The oppressor them got to fall. Watch them fall. Stand and fight. We're gonna fight them all down, down, down. Fight. We're gonna fight them. It's like a mighty rock in a blazing desert fight. We're gonna fight them.